You know poetry dropping when the pen clicks, and poets get it popping with the pen click. You're now rocking with Kuya David, the prime poetry prime minister, with my brother Daniel Hees, the chubby fat god. And today we are blessed with the magnanimous presence of poetry royalty from the Bay to LA, lady of the house Basco, first of her name, the unshaded, queen of the open mics, the first poets, Ariana of the savannah, breaker of the backwoods, mother of dragons. We have the queen, Lady Ariana Basco. Let's get it.
My next boyfriend's gonna be a man. He's gonna find me in those moments of disparity and see a light coming out of my ass anyway. He'll understand that the heart sometimes it weeps, that sometimes the world gets a little too heavy for one's soul to keep. My next boyfriend is gonna write songs, trapping words and melodies, rearrange letters, forcing this lung to breathe. He's gonna find some truth in this tongue and water it, create some soil from his fingertips. My next boyfriend, he's gonna love life. And me in it, standing right beside him, holding up his backbone, holding up his own. He's going to know a thing or two about sweet nothings and holding the door open for his lady, build upon natural blessings. My ex-boyfriend is going to hold me like the night holds a shadow, the sidewalk nurtures a crack. He's going to kiss me the way the bush belongs to a vine, fitting so perfectly like my favorite cardigan. And he'll know just the right thing to say when it gets hard again, when I'm finding it oh so hard to start again. My next boyfriend will know that his smile is where it all begins. He will be my forever days, my ain't feeling so great days, my I can't go on, can you show me where my knees are days. He will dance, groove with me, spit talking, booty shaking, melody rocking, let me get into your pants, but not disrespectful like. In fact, exactly the opposite. I respect you so much like, more than words like, so I gotta show you with my whole body like. My next boyfriend will be a poem. I'll swim around in his denim. He'll like things like coffee and hikes. He'll love things like sitting in a room with unfamiliar faces. He'll ponder things like, where are we going? Where are we from? He'll make me laugh, outrageous. My next boyfriend will be brave, wear his heart on his lips, tattoo me on his hips. He'll like food and culture, hopes and dreams, maybe even be a baller, but he won't pay much attention to things you could buy. He'll just try to be the best person he could be, see a little light from the inside. My next boyfriend is gonna love kids. My kids, our kids, innately knowing the difference between being a father and a dad. My next boyfriend's mouth will melt away all the noise. He will bring me home, him and me on our throne. I'll be his queen and he my king. And he'll know the difference between these material things versus these life strings, because he will have already lived a life and then find me. And he and I, well, we're just gonna be. My next boyfriend will be courageous. Oh, he'll be courageous. He'll make me cry just by his simple beauty. His ability to stand and feel and not be ashamed, to change, to evolve, to be real. My next boyfriend will be free. And through his freedom, choose me.
Hey, what's
God dang.
in the building, Kuya? How you living?
Oh my goodness, I can't believe we're actually here. We made it this far. We are
here.
In the house of Basco. Holy
The goddess,
goodness.
Lady Basco.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Thank you for coming to the playroom.
Yeah, what's
Hey.
up?
The playroom.
The playroom.
This is probably my favorite setting so far.
Right.
It's the most lit. It's the most colorful.
For people that don't know, like who are only listening to the podcast through audio, it's like we're actually mobile and we're always going to different places to record.
Where we can.
Yeah, where we can.
And
we're here today.
Yeah, we in the playroom today.
We
y'all.
in the playroom.
Getting it.
Amongst the children. The children.
Yeah, it's nice. I like one of the kids just ran by and you kind of heard in the background. It's a nice vibe. I'm feeling it. Yeah, we in it. Thank you for being here. We jump right into it.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Yeah, bless. Threads in Line is the first bit.
This is all first verse. All first verse. You about to get this work.
We pulled a little bit from the piece that y'all just heard, and we're going to break it down. Kuya, you got thoughts off the bat?
Yeah, so I remember when I first saw this, like you did the whole video for our mic, your open mic, and you did that whole video production on Facebook.
A part of Story of Worth. Yeah,
Exactly.
the whole thing is called A Story of Worth.
I saw that last month.
Go peep
and then
it.
when I heard that you were doing the piece for Threads and Lines, like I was looking for it on YouTube to see like, all right, let me like listen to this multiple times, and I saw that you did this in 2010.
Yes. Yeah, I wrote it.
Mm-hmm. So you had it like all the way back then.
Right.
And
pre-children.
Right.
What?
Oh,
right.
Pre all children.
Wait, so
I didn't think about
pre-children.
Yeah, because like then you have that bit at the end. It's like my kids, our kids, and it's always interesting how like there are certain poems that we hold like throughout our lives, the pieces that we've written, and how those poems like their meaning to us, even though we're the ones that wrote it, their meaning to us like changes as our lives change and as we grow.
Absolutely.
So like I want to know like where your mindset was at 2010 and how you've interpreted that like now in 2017, because it's like in that March video piece you're like yelling out of frustration, but then 2010 Ariana was all like, oh, you know, it's like that'd be nice.
Yeah, you know what? In 2010 I had just gotten out of a relationship, and you know, I hold spaces. At the time I was holding down Speakeasy. Prior to that, Tarred and Feathered, and now Armike. But when you hold space, you hear a lot of pieces about activism, obviously, but you hear a lot of pieces about broken hearts and oh, you don't do that to me, you know.
Yeah.
And I got those pieces too.
Word.
But I wrote that piece for hope, for something to look forward to. And in fact, when I recorded in 2010, just like off the laptop, just written, there's a hopefulness there. 2010, now in 2017, 2 kids later, single mom. When we shot that video for A Story of Worth, Armike, at the beginning of the year, it's funny, like on set, right? I had this vision of the shot being overhead and me in the bed and different guys coming through.
That was dope,
right? And it's just one take, just a one take, right? And then so the day of, we're rehearsing it, and I got the guys there, and I'm like, yo, when you come, there needs to be, you need to give yourself a reason to come in and a reason to come out. Like it's got to have this organicness.
I believe they call that the business, like for actors. It's like they're always having something to do.
Yes,
during
the business and the intention and what compels you to come out. Yeah, you got to have that moment before and the reason why you're leaving. So I'm directing it. We got it down. Cool. We're about to do a take, and then I'm sitting there and I'm going, wait. I don't have my motivation to even start this.
Right.
Like I figured out how I wanted everyone to do their thing. And then I was like, oh, I got to have a motivation. So our PA, Saul, was sitting there, and I was like, you sit down on the bed. Mm-hmm. And I direct him. I'm like, you know, you kind of turn around and we just got in a fight, and you kind of look at me, try to be like, am I going to work this out? And you go, no. In your head, you go, I'm not going to work this out. And you walk out. And that was the motivation for me to get into the piece, which is crazy because being in that moment and feeling him walk inspired the delivery of what that piece became for film.
But like the actual performance of it can not skew but influence the piece almost every single time, you know.
Every time. Yeah. Well, I'm a fond believer of, there's a piece that I do to end every night from Speakeasy to now Armike. Every time I do this piece, or you guys have seen this,
we know
right?
What's up.
But every time I do that piece, it's a new piece.
Yeah.
I think sometimes poets, generally, blanket statement, you get trapped in the cadence and the kill of like how this piece goes, that you don't allow for real things to happen, for real discovery, because you have to know
you're on autopilot.
You're on autopilot, and that there's people there in the audience that have never seen this piece before. So why rob them of that to get into some sort of uniformed pattern or cadence? It's not so much about that. It's about discovering the piece every time. And every time I do a piece that maybe I've done a billion times, it's got to be a new experience for me.
Oh, man.
You know?
Get it. The God. Thank you so much. Moving on. That's Threads and Lines. That's Lady Basco killing it, giving y'all that boyfriend hope. Don't worry, y'all. Y'all find it. You know what I'm saying? Or you might. That's all right, too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, it ain't about finding it. It's about, the last note about that. It's not about finding. If you're doing you, do you at your optimal, they'll already be there. Like, they're just going to come along. You know what I mean?
Might not, you know what I'm saying? Doing you might just mean doing you forever. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. But how are they ever going to see you if you're not doing you?
Yeah.
If you're not doing you, you're doing something else, then you're going to attract something else,
Yeah,
and you're gonna be like, how did this happen? Who is this person? You know what I mean? But the more that you hone you and your craft and who you are and the person that you are, the more that you're showing the world like, yo, this is who I am, for the sake of being you, for the sake of clarity on yourself. But as that starts being clear, then people will see you.
Hey,
you know,
get it.
Oh, man, like every line is like that she says should be on motivational posters or or really on Instagram and like reshared on Pinterest. Like
Get it.
Lady B.
hilarious.
Hey, that's why you're here. That's why you're here.
Hey,
Moving on to
Okay.
the two-piece combo.
Right.
The
let's
two-piece-
do.
2-piece.
And so the two-piece for the listeners, for the gods, for Kuya, for Ariana, for everybody is the part of the show where we are going to review a couple pieces of poetry. There's the big piece, which is a YouTube video. This week this episode, it is Harry Baker. The poem, it's called 59, a love
Harry
poem.
Baker.
59, a love poem for lonely prime numbers. It is that. We're going to watch that and break it down right now.
59 wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. Realizes all his hairs on one side of his head, takes just under a minute to work out that it's because of the way that he slept he finds some clothes and gets dressed. He can't help but look in the mirror and be subtly impressed how he looks rough around the edges and yet casually messed, and as he glances out the window sees a sight that he is blessed with of 60 from across the street. Now 60 was beautiful. Perfectly trimmed cuticles, dressed in something suitable.
So like, I remember like you saying that when you first saw this, you thought that they were talking about the ages of people.
Well, yeah, because you guys queued it up to like write on the poem, so I didn't really hear the intro, which I don't always like to hear but sometimes they're important. So yeah, I thought that at first, the first pass, I thought like he's talking about when he's 59, and then and then across the street there's a 60-year-old, and then in 61
shout out to the beautiful
days-
60-year-olds out there.
Yeah,
bro.
no, for real.
Getting it.
But then I was like, oh, and then she had a birthday, so now she's 61. Wait, what's happening? I missed it the first time. The first time I wasn't
I
understanding.
also thought this could possibly be like an address, you know what I'm saying?
And
Or
then
like
I thought an
apartment number,
address.
you know what I'm saying?
I was
It could work on that
like,
level.
Yo.
It could be like apartment numbers.
Triple
you know what I'm saying?
entendre flow.
Yeah.
But see, now this is making me want to Google all the prime numbers because now
to
I'm
find out if
like,
they're both prime numbers.
Well,
Like-
60's not. But
61
no,
is,
but
though.
that's
Yeah,
the point.
61
That
is.
60
59 is,
wasn't
right?
60
Exactly.
wasn't his.
Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right.
And I picked that specifically. Kuya to God got that engineering mind. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to do the math. Where I'm like, damn, you know how to do that math?
No shade, but at the same time, it's like hella shade that like every time you look up Prime Poetry League, like my YouTube channel, like
This comes up.
this comes up because it's Prime or whatever.
Rude or crude.
Harry
at all.
Baker.
Unimprovable. Right on time as usual. More on cue than a snooker ball, but like to play it super cool.
That wordplay's strong though.
59
He
wanted to
doing
tell
it.
her.
And also like his rhyme technique.
Yeah.
It's like he also comes from like that hip hop background of like he's really into like multi-stacking and all
Yeah,
that.
but that traditional, that British tradition, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that, the syllable count. Like that's mad important to me. Like if you're gonna do some crazy rhyme scheme stuff, and your syllable counts off, you know what I'm saying? It kind of throws off the rhyme scheme.
Right.
But
Right.
his counts on point. He doing it.
He knew her favorite flower. He thought of her every second, every minute, every hour, but he knew it wouldn't work. He'd never get the girl because although she lived across the street, they came from different worlds. Of 59 and my 60's perfectly round figure. 60 thought 59 was odd.
It's cute.
And it's
You
like
see, one of his
break two
favorite
from-
films was 101 Dalmatians.
Bruh.
She preferred the sequel.
Bruh. Low key dope.
He romanticized the idea they were star-crossed lovers. They could overcome the odds and evens because they had each other, while she maintained the strict rules imposed on her by her mother that separate could not be equal.
Like, all that work, like damn, like it's dope. It's like
It's packed in there.
yeah,
too.
and
Yeah, I mean, even the 101 is a prime number.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
getting that
word.
right now.
And
And,
she
102,
preferred
the
the
sequel.
sequel? Ooh.
I'm getting it all. It's all downloading now. It's all downloading.
also like what he's doing, like a lot of, like the punny wordplay, like this whole thing. What he's doing like, in battle rap is it's called a word association scheme.
Yeah.
And it's like I low-key think that like this is him just like getting out all his like word association schemes about numbers like out.
Yeah,
it's just like
yeah.
all right, so like because I don't have a way to make this a diss, like I'm gonna just put this into a poem and let me get it out of my system. So he's just like letting off shots like all right, clip's empty, I'm good.
And though at the time he felt stupid and dumb for trying to love a girl controlled by her stupid mum, he should have been comforted by the simple song, take 59 away from 60, and you're left with the one. And sure enough, after 2 months of moping around, 61 days later, 61 was who he found. He had lost his keys and his parents were out, so one day after school he went into a house, and as he noticed the slightly wonky numbers on the door, he wondered why he never introduced himself before. She let him in, his jaw dropped.
His delivery kind of sounds like he's like whispering on some like yo, oil Olay, put it on your skin right now. 61, put all that on your skin, baby.
This is definitely like that swag piece where it's like if you a single artist out there.
Yeah.
You throw this one out there, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yo,
that girl in the
facts.
back. I'm gonna do that piece tonight.
Hey, baby,
I know
you-
exactly what I'm gonna do tonight.
Hey, baby, you prime, baby. You know what I'm saying? So why don't we make 1 + 1? We're gonna make it 2, so we can make it even, baby. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna divide that in the sheets, between the sheets. You know what
One
I'm
of my
saying?
favorite is like, man, I wrote that poem for you. Like, you didn't know me. Like, that don't matter. I still wrote that poem for you. You know,
Right.
What?
Oh, we see you, Harry. You down low.
Get it.
With a little bit more. See, she had prettier eyes and an approachable smile. And like him, rough around the edges, casual style. And like him, everything was in disorganized piles. And like him, her mum didn't mind a friend stayed a while because she was like him. And he liked her. He reckoned she would like him if she knew he was like her, and it was different this time. I mean, this girl was wicked, so he plucked up the courage and asked for her digits. She said,
Wicked, like, felt mad out of place. That was literally every single time I hear this, I hate that word.
Really?
I don't know why. I don't know if it's just like a culture thing. Like, we don't use that word in common slang and they do or something like that. But I feel like it's
I don't think
completely
they do
out of
either.
place. Yeah, I
But,
don't know
like,
either.
I don't know, but
No, they do. East Coast says
right,
wicked
facts.
a lot.
That's true.
Yeah,
So
I
and like
feel
maybe
it.
his part of the UK, it's a
Yeah.
thing.
Maybe I'm just throwing shade for no reason, too.
Dad, I'm 61. He grinned, said, I'm 59. Today I've had a really nice time, so tomorrow if you wanted you could come over to mine. She said, sure. She loved talking to someone just as quirky. So she agreed to this unofficial first date. In the end, he was only ready 1 minute early, but that didn't matter because she arrived 1 minute late. And from that moment on, there was non-stop chatter. How they loved X Factor, how they had 2 factors, how that did not matter.
How they loved X Factor, you know, like the show as well.
Yeah.
And like that's like a UK thing, but then like X Factor's in the factor of X. It's like,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's a little mathematical pun, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's cute.
We see you.
Distinctiveness made them better. And by the end of the night, he knew that they went together. On one day, she was talking about stuck up 60. She noticed that 59 looked a bit shifty. He blushed and told her of his crush, the best thing that never happened because it led to us. And 61 was clever, see, not prone to jealousy. She looked him in the eyes and told him quite tenderly, you're 59, I'm 61, together we combine to become twice what 60 could ever be. And at this point, 59 had tears in his eyes. So glad to have this one-of-a-kind girl in his life. He told her the very definition of being prime was the only one in himself could his heart divide, and she was the one he wanted to give his heart to. She said she felt the same, and she knew the films were half true because that wasn't real love. The love was just a sample. When it came to real love, they were a prime example.
Hey. Okay.
Hey.
Mad witty.
Hey.
That's one of those pieces too that like you hear, or I hear at least, and I get a little jealous. Like, how do you do that, G? How did you do that?
Yeah,
I want to know
for
exactly how you wrote that. Did you make a list?
No, you know what? It's like it's a lot of like again going back to word association schemes. It's like when this poem came out, it was like at the height of like this is one rapper named Chilla Jones, and he was like really bringing the whole word association scheming to the forefront of battle rap, and like you could see like a lot of rappers at the time were like incorporating a lot of these like almost nonsensical just to say like a word association just to say it. Like it doesn't even land on a punch. But then throughout, it's like you could see him just like going off. It's like, all right, well, I have all these like slick little like oh, you're my prime or X Factor. It's like like the whole like little X Factor. Like, that's not even a punch, but it's just like, oh, but it's kind of like part of the math shit. So like we'll put that in there.
But I think also what makes that so special is and not every
he
piece
writes it
has to be
cohesively
like
though.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a narrative. So like all those things are in there and all those puns and all that math stuff. So maybe there was a list of some sort, but he's following a storyline. So when you're listening to it, you can see 59 wakes up and looks in the mirror. So you're following like this short film.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Word.
So that really helps in poetry pieces. And I think sometimes poets, not that every piece has to be like that, a narrative of sorts, and then filled in with these puns and all these other things that you want to put in, but that really helped. That kind of metaphor, that storyline.
It helps too because you're paying attention to the story.
Yeah.
And you're almost missed the puns, and then you listen to it again, and you're like,
those are my,
damn, get it.
Those are also my favorite types of poems. Like what he just did, like the wordplay and narrative. That's like my jam.
Yeah,
that's my bag.
Device.
Yeah, I love that. And like narrative. Like I would rather hear like a story instead of like this think piece on the mic. It's like that's my personal preference.
And like I really enjoyed the narrative of it too, because affirmation through love, you know what I'm saying? Like finding somebody that offers that to you, and
because prime numbers like there's no other factorials or quotients or what is it, like whatever it's multiplied and divided by. It's like it's just one and the number. So it's like the primeness of the number is being used as like loneliness. Yeah,
word. And often like that is the way it seems. Like I said, that narrative of like I feel solely alone and individual, and you feel that way until you find somebody else that feels solely alone and individual in the same way, and you're like, oh wow,
all right,
we both got the same baggage. So,
out of 10, if this was on a
we slamming right now.
We slamming.
We rate everything. We rate everything.
I never judge slam, but okay. What my score on that?
Yes.
It's hard because I didn't see any other poets either. But like, all right,
I feel that.
Cool.
Let's say he's the first poet. Yeah. Let's say he's not. There's not even a calibrated poet.
Yeah. I mean, I'd give that like. I want to see what else he's got. I'm gonna give him like a 9.2. Hey,
all right, I feel that.
For sure.
Because you want to see him in that second round.
I want to see him in that second round.
I can see you like
give him a little bit.
Your brain working because of all the slams that you've seen. It's like so accounting for score drift.
Yeah.
The wind direction at 32. Okay.
I'm really bad at judging people like that though too. Like,
it is an odd thing to judge poetry in general. Is an odd thing.
Yeah.
Daniel.
If this was like off the bat slam,
round 1.
I'm gonna push him through.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get a 10.
Fact.
What else is coming up? And I don't want to see him get pushed out because feels or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But as a piece, like in this room right now, I'm gonna say like a 9. Yeah, I'm gonna say a 9. Yeah. Like I feel like the performance was kind of weak. I feel like there was like moments where it was like.
Right.
Like what, bro? Like you
slow it down.
Yeah, slow it down because there's a reason to. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that works. Like you don't tell like Eminem to slow it down. You know what I'm saying? Because who cares? Just do that. Like do that. But
that's also a rap song.
Yeah, exactly.
So different.
Yeah, word.
But at the same time, like his accent is like more understood, like where he's from. So it's like they're catching it, and like Brits they also speak naturally faster than.
No, but even like our American accent, sometimes poets be going way too. If we're talking again about that autopilot, like it's not a narrative, and you just trying to drop lines, and I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and there's too many metaphors in one stanza. I'm like, slow down.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
You get lost in the couplets and the scheme
and
all
like,
of that.
what are you saying?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna say a 9 just because I think performance-wise he could have worked that out.
But that's also like our thing too, because like I was saying, like in another conversation he had, like American ratio of like text to performance versus like the British ratio versus like the Amsterdam ratio.
Oh yeah,
it's like
it's
or the German ratio. Like I went to a couple of open mics like when I was doing a Euro tour, and just to check out the open mics, and it was really interesting to see that like at this one mic in Amsterdam, like at a slam, like there were like 80% text, 20% performance. In fact, if you did a lot of performance, they would dock you points. They're like, no, that's taking away.
We want to hear content.
Yeah, we want to hear content, exactly. And the girl that won was just like all monotone reading off of her phone, and it was like that won. But in America, like they tend to say that we're like a 60-40 kind of culture. We're like 60% performance, 40% text. But like the UK is very 50-50, and like they even like make fun of American poets when they come over to like, look at this guy, look at how much hand gestures he's doing. Look at this dude, this is clearly American. But yeah, so something to be said about like our own preferences of performance. And that being said, I'd probably give him Harry Baker. Gotta separate him from a rapper.
Yeah, word.
It's a slick piece. It's good.
It's really well
done. It's slick. Oh God,
and you come on, that engineer brain, like
this
is right up your alley, bro.
Yeah, it is. It hits all the notes that I like. It's 9. It's a 9.3.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I gotta be real with it. It's like, damn it, Harry, you get this one. You get this one.
I think we can all agree though, if we're watching this slam and he's the first one, like we want to see him get
Right.
there.
I mean, and like he was also like a world champ for 1 year. I forgot.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, he's clearly skilled.
Yeah. Getting it. That's
Cool.
the first part of the two-piece. Shouts out to Harry Baker. Again, you can find that online. 59, a love poem for lonely prime numbers. He did it at a TEDx. He did like a hip-hop version of it. If you want to listen to that, I don't suggest that. It's just not as good as that was.
All right, now for our second piece
The little
of
part
the
of the
two-piece
two-piece.
combo.
The little one, too.
Yes, sir. It's
Kuya
where we
David.
get the first thing that we find off of hashtag poetry, and it's off of Instagram. So the first thing, and it has to be a real poem, not just a pretty picture of a sunset, and you go, look, visual poetry. Nah,
Yeah,
bro. At least put one in your captions. What seems like a poem is off of an account, Costa Plotaraxocornis.
Whoa.
Instagram names.
COSTASPLOUTARXOSK.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
bro.
matter.
If you're gonna have
Doesn't
your
matter.
Instagram name be that, I can't plug you, G. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And
All
you
right.
don't want the plug, because if you wanted the plug, you would just abbreviate that, or like
Yeah.
put
Yo, out
your
the gate.
name.
What else? It's like, okay, we're gonna see how you really feel about this poem.
Let's see.
Amazing. It is. Be you bravely.
Zamdo.
Mic drop.
Zamdo.
Mic drop.
Zamdo. And that's dope. That actually really hits me, because like lately I'm married, you know what I'm saying? I just recently got married, and there's a lot of insecurities.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Bless the gods. There's a lot of like insecurities that come with that, and like you have to muster that courage. You have to muster that, like, you know what? I am scared, and it is going to be hard, and we have a long road ahead of us. And the one thing that I keep reflecting on is that, like, you don't have to be strong. You don't have to like have it all together. You don't have to have it figured out. You can be weak, and you can be fragile, and you can have moments of failure even. You just have to be courageous. You have to be brave. You have to just get up.
Yo, man's
and
unpacked
do it
all that from
again
3 words.
tomorrow. That's really where it hit me, though, because it is
yeah.
that idea of like what I need to be is ready and brave and courageous and willing to be brave and
So
willing
with all
to
that said-
muster to push through that fear and to push through this weakness and to push through that, whether I'm going to get hurt or not in the end. You know what I'm saying? Is
So with all that said, slam.
bars.
At a slam.
If somebody went on stage
Yeah.
and just did that, and there's no wrong way to do that, really, because
Right.
it's 3 words, you know what I'm saying, performance-wise.
They're
pause
clearly under 3
between's
minutes.
vital.
Hell yeah.
The pause there is vital.
Yeah, facts.
But I feel like be you and then pause,
Bravely.
that's a 10, God.
That's
That's the poetry, because that just hit me, and I just got all of what I just
Sorry,
explained
Dennis Smith.
out of those 3 words. You know what I'm
Not
saying?
going to make it to finals this time.
Yeah, and that's like the brilliant. That's my favorite part about poetry, is that we're like grabbing things from the like ethereal world of our life, like this weird mist that surrounds us, and then putting it on paper, and then people are grabbing stuff from their own mist and applying that to whatever we wrote. You know,
Ariana.
Yeah. I ams is so important. And what is an I am, right? I am Filipino. Yeah. Okay. That's true. But people get caught in like, I am a poet, or I am a director, or I am all these title things that are, can you really say that if you're in a room with Steven Spielberg? I am a director. Probably not. But you can say non-negotiable I ams, like I am creative. Yeah.
word.
I am resilient. I am kind. So I think that poem reminds me of that, like, be you bravely, when you can be you, when you can live in your I ams, your non-negotiable, meaning you can walk into any room, you can walk into this playroom, you can be busting a cup of coffee, you can be at a call center, you can be on the red carpet, you can be a Grand Slam champion or whatever, and still be you. In your I ams.
And
right?
the ironicest thing is, you are always those things. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You're
For
not
sure.
always a director. You're not always a poet.
That's
but there are
right.
certain things that
But
you
sometimes-
are always.
Right. So then sometimes we get caught up on these titles of like, oh, well, once you become that champion, or once you become that director, or what if you don't?
Yeah.
Are you still you?
Yeah.
Or what if you are busting that coffee? Can you
Yeah.
not still just be you? And we get caught in that social lens
Right.
of what that looks like while I'm mopping the floor.
Yeah.
And so I must be less than. but I'm
Yo.
still me, dog.
Yeah,
I'm
word.
still
Man,
me.
give it to Lady B, man. Giving everyone knowledge of self, yo. That's wild. That's dope.
I mean,
off of a 3-word poem. That's tight.
That's because I believe that. Yo,
Go ahead.
I'm a single mom of 2,
Yeah.
and I know what how that looks in
For sure.
society with 2 different dads. I completely understand that.
Right.
Some might say my stock is down.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm precious commodity. It takes a lot to be who I am, and the courage to live that every day, and to choose that every day. So I have to be really in touch. I have to really be in tune with that poem, because I'm going against a lot of other voices,
Yeah, opposition
right?
even.
Out
Yeah. Get
Out
it.
of 10, someone went up on stage.
You
You got 10 from Daniel. Yeah, going to round 2.
it depends
Maybe
on
it's
how
4
it
words.
depends on how I feel, but I can see myself giving them a 10 too.
Hey, yo!
10.
That's brave. It's very brave of this dude to like, yo.
Yeah.
I see Portia O. I see Hanifa Duro-Keeb. I see Dana's over there.
When you
I
put
see
it in
Harriet
context,
Baker over there.
When you put it in
gonna do a
context, for
3-word
sure.
poem, bro.
Someone runs up there and does that, and like, all right, dog, 10. Let me see what you got next time. Now, if they come up with another 3-word poem,
Yeah.
I'll be
0.
like, okay,
Yo, get out of here, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you pushing it, G.
yeah, you just, yeah, no.
Or he comes out with like a haiku. It's like, okay.
Like,
All right.
I got some haikus too. dog.
So 10, and I will give him a 10.
Hey.
Reversed, a 0 and a 1, bro. Fuck that. Get it out of here. Yo, you got no alliteration there, bro. You got no punchlines. You know what I'm saying? It's like you won't be on the XXL freshman list. Yo, get out of here, bro. But nah. Yeah, nah. It's a very poetic thought, but is it a poem?
Yes. I think it's a poem.
Because I feel like it has a lot of poetic merit. This is something that Mark Kelly Smith said about slamming.
All right.
He said when you hear a person on stage that sounds like they're listing off a grocery list, but they're saying it in a really cool way, like rhythmically. So it's like bacon, eggs, cheese, and maybe as art is for the individual to interpret. It's like, okay, that grocery list might have poetic merit. Maybe it's talking about like what this single man is doing to survive, and he doesn't once say Pampers. He doesn't once say Similac. It's like, okay, so this person is clearly like da da da. It's like, okay, like maybe he's saying like this is the survival of a single man. But at the end of the day, it has a lot of poetic merit. But was that a poem?
I feel you.
So looking at these 3 words, it's like it has a lot of poetic merit because you guys spent the last like 5 minutes unpacking a lot out of it.
Yeah, but you know what? It depends on who it is too. Like my partner, right?
Right.
Bosia. If he would never do that.
God.
But if he ever went up there
If he
and
did,
was like, be
I'll give
you
Bo.
bravely,
Yeah.
boom, and walks off,
God damn.
you'd be like, that's Bosia, and that's what he
That's
said.
what he
10,
does. That's what he does.
10,
That's what Bo
you
does.
just go 10.
I guess like it does also depend.
Context,
like,
man.
Yeah, context. That's true. Like if
We'll
some
watch
dude,
Bo do anything and give him
Facts.
a 10.
Hey.
Whatever you want to do.
If
you
Bo
just
was-
do
love
it.
to post
if Bo
it.
will
Just be
stare at you for like 2 minutes and 58 seconds and then spend the last 2 minutes saying sup and leaves, it's like, yeah, okay. I want to see him around too, see what he does.
Oh, that's totally what he would sit there for that long and then go, be you bravely.
But yeah, Bo would pull off. Like,
Yeah.
I'd give Bo the God a 10 for that, for sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a little part of the 2-piece. That is the 2-piece.
Cool.
Moving on to the last part of the show. It's almost over, y'all. It's always
2, 3, 4, 5.
the 5 for your eye, for the listeners, for Ariana, for Kuya, for the gods, for all you at home, is the part of the show where we have we prompt our guests before they arrive, before we arrive, before we get all this cracking with 5 words. They got to write a piece using all 5 words, any format, any style, any subject matter, anything they want to do. I'm still waiting for one of the homies to shade me out and just come with the 5 words and be like,
It's like,
what's up, dog? Tell me it's not a poem. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell them it's not like, bro, that's poetic merit.
There it is again.
But that's pretty much the rules. Anything you
Hashtag
wanna do.
poetic merit.
Hey.
Oh, what's up? We see you creating hashtags. Lady Basco,
Yeah.
we gave her 5 words. It was an interesting list. I like this list a little bit. We got bustle, shred, relish, fixed, and split. So I try to give you some words that like we use but don't use, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bustle and relish.
God, he said any form of poetry. That to me suggested
All right, let's hear it.
that I should write in a form.
Oh, word.
So I did.
Let's hear it.
This is a sonnet.
Hey.
Bars. This is probably, I think it's the first sonnet so far on Pen Clique. We see you.
Okay. Sonnet. And here I thought I had kids to belong, because eternally I will be theirs, and I don't need anyone, I am strong. Fixed to be solo, alone with my heirs. Enter his loud smile, daring me to fall. Bustled rib cage he shreds between my legs. Faithful outrage in my daydreams he crawled. Once thought doomed, now without him I am plagued. Yesterday's false truths began to seep in. Obey the voices, I push him away. Split the noises, I peel me off his skin. But he, my loud smile, relishes and stays. Zoo in my gut replaces butterflies. My kids led me to the love of my life.
Bars.
Hey, yo.
Wow. That was mad lit. That got me in all the feels from the jump.
Oh, my
Like
goodness.
from the jump that hit me. Like, oh, wow.
Sonnets.
We're doing it like that.
They are not mine. I am there. Like, y'all.
Wow.
They're my heirs.
Damn, that makes me want to write. That makes me want to write. Bless God. Hey, thank you.
Thank
for joining
you.
the Clique, for being a
For
part
sure.
of this.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
This
hey,
is
thanks
awesome.
your kids for letting us invade their little
Playroom.
play space.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Bless the gods.
Yeah.
Where
All
can they
good.
find you at? Across the board?
Lady Basco, at Lady Basco, spelled like Tabasco, but without the TA.
All right.
Lady Basco.
So LADYBASCO at
That's
Lady
it.
Bosco on Instagram.
That's it. All
Ariana
done.
Bosco across the board.
Yeah.
1 R 2 N's.
Peep out our mic.
Yeah, come out, our mic. People
Wednesdays.
You're in the LA
every
area.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're in
Carlson
phase
with
3.
Bosia.
We're manifesting right now. Yeah. Phase 3 manifest is kind of crazy, y'all. Check out A Story of Worth, and yeah.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
It's been
you're
a
welcome.
blessing. It's been a privilege. It's been wonderful. We
Beautiful.
appreciate you.
Beautiful.
We appreciate you all at home.
Thank
we
you,
love
Audrey.
you. Thank you. Share, like, survive. Keep fighting the good fight.
Y'all watch the Pen Clique on YouTube, so y'all know what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe. Share, right, survive.
Thank y'all.
Love y'all.